Okay, hello everyone. This is Sharonda, and this is my podcast as well as my YouTube channel, Spiritual Sense. Today is Tuesday, which is August the 6th. And so, in this podcast, as well as YouTube channel, go over topics involving the paranormal, occult, supernatural, spirituality. I like to stress that this podcast, as well as this YouTube channel, is for entertainment, informational, and sometimes educational purposes. It just depends on which podcast or even episode you may listen to. So it's not a biblical nor religious podcast, although I may bring up the biblical text. I'm not a pastor, elder, prophetess, or anything of that nature. I do believe that a prophetic word can work through us all. Okay. So what I do is I refer to as spiritual readings, which are tarot card readings. Many people may frown upon tarot and say that it's devil worship or devil work. It's all in what you make it. I think pretty much anything you do in life, you can put your heart into it or not. So I um, do general readings. Um, I try to be realistic in my readings. And so we're going to proceed. Now, on Tuesdays, I said that I was Tuesdays or Wednesdays, whichever day I choose to record. I said I was going to do either my 3, 6, or 10 card Celtic Cross. Now, on Sundays, I usually do light and dark, but for whatever reason, I chose to do it Saturday instead of Sunday. So I do my light and dark readings on Sundays. Tuesdays is dedicated to my 3, 6, or 10 card, just a regular reading. And on Thursdays or Fridays, I do the astrology reading because, as I mentioned, I want to get a little bit more into astrology. I do think there's an art or science behind astrology. Believe it or not, it's very, very convoluted, very complex. So I don't profess to be, expert in it either. Because it can get way, way, way out there. So in my astrology readings, I have already done air signs, water signs, and then I did this past Thursday, I did the fire sign. So coming up this Thursday or Friday, depends on whichever day I choose, I will be doing earth signs. Okay. So stay tuned for that. Now, we're going to go ahead. I'm going to do a 10 card. It's been a while since I did a 10 card Celtic cross. And so, for those who may be listening in or tuning in, when you get off into tarot, if you have an interest in tarot, there are different types of cards out there. It depends on what audience or what message you want to capture. Um, so I honestly feel as though there is a guideline and a guidebook that comes with tarot, whichever one you choose. But that's what makes tarot so unique because you can go off of the guide if you choose, or you could just, formulate your sensibility to that card or cards. Okay. Um, so there are different spreads and layout of cards that you can do in tarot or for whatever specific tarot card that you use. And I'll give you an example. So I have the Egyptian tarot card. Typically in my readings, I only pull one of those cards, or there have been times I may have pulled two. Not too often do I do that. It's typically only one. Because the cards themselves are very, very complex. Very complex cards. You really could use these cards just by themselves. But I use them for family history and my when I do my readings, because I do my readings in a I have like a guideline to how I do my readings. Life, love, past history, family history, and then I read your energy and aura. That's how I do my readings. Okay. Um, so some cards would not be appropriate for certain readings, and vice versa. Certain readings um, wouldn't be the cards wouldn't be appropriate. Like if you're doing a reading, say for instance somebody wants to know about love or what have you, you got to kind of gauge, because if you have somebody that may not be into tarot, or maybe want to hear the negative or the gusto, you may want to pull out your dark cards, if that makes any sense, to kind of like gear them towards what their reading is for. Like they may not be the type of person, or it may not be the type of audience that you're wanting to capture, who would want to hear, oh, well, he's going to bring you dandelions and roses, and he's no. So that's what I mean when I say every card is not for every reading. Every reading is not for every um, specific card. If that makes sense, what I just said. There are different types. Every spread is what I'm getting at. Um, so the Egyptian tarot, for instance, has its own spreads that you can use with just those cards. But oh my gosh, like it was three, because it's like a total of I think 10 when you get the guidebook, because the guidebook is damn near like a novel. So it was three that I had focused on that I have yet to even sit down to even try to study, because it's a lot. That's why with those cards I only pull one, and on occasion I have pulled two. Okay. Um. So I think it's tarot is so complex and so in depth that it would literally take a degree to sit there and study and learn all of that. So you have to formulate and keep a consistency as to what you associate with those cards. Okay, depends on how the reading is going. Because like with me, I may be prompted to a reading because I go off of my guide, or it may be a situation where I go off of the picture. What I formulated may not work in tune with the reading, so I may pull out another guide and focus on that. You just have to get into tarot. You really have to get into it, because I think when you start bringing all these different variances in and whatnot, it takes from the art of it, and people, you will lose trust and belief from the audience. So it takes getting into it to see it for yourself, if that makes sense to anybody. I can't convince you. Some things you just have to see it on your own. Okay? So, with that being said, I'm going to say, Father, Supreme Being of all being, thank you for waking me, family, and friends alike up this morning to see another day or afternoon. Continue to bless us and shield us from any injury, harm, or danger, and the weapon formed against us shall prosper. As it is said, it is so. I declare and I decree, I want to pay homage to Bash, Shemaya, Shango, Osiris, Ma'at, Ogun, and Oshun. So give me infinite wisdom, knowledge, capability, and understanding as I do this reading. I don't know what the reading is on, but I do feel as though it's a relevant reading. So again, when I do my the readings that I will be doing once, I look different types of reading I'm doing once a week, because I said I'm just going to do three instead of doing every day, 3 times a week. Sundays is light and dark. That's going to be doing a regular reading and then doing a dark reading to get to the nitty gritty of it. That's on Sundays. And I noticed that, and the reason why I changed it and did it that way, because I noticed that it seems as though on Sundays I get a lot of um my intuition and my spiritual sight is honed on Sundays for whatever reason. So that's why I decided to incorporate that in on Sundays. Tuesdays, which may be on Wednesdays, depends, but I'm gonna say Tuesdays, is like today, where I do the life, love, past life, thoughts, faith, and belief, family history, and your healing oracle. So it's a 6-part reading. Those are going to be on Tuesdays or even Wednesdays, depending on how my day is going. Thursdays, which could be Thursday or Friday, is my astrology reading. So I'm gonna be doing that once a week. Once a week, we have 4 to 5 weeks in a month. So I'm going to do rotate: air sign, water sign, fire sign, earth sign. Rotate: air sign, water sign, fire sign. I may mix it up. That's going to be once a week on Thursdays or even Fridays, depending on how things are going with me. All right. So we're doing the 6-part reading today. All right. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to get into the life reading. What do you want to know? What are you wanting to know regarding life? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, dokie. So let's go ahead. We're going to proceed with the reading, with the spread. Let's see if you're able to view. Alrighty. All right, 10. Let's see if I turn this way. If you're able to view. Bear with me just a moment. All right. All right, let's turn this around. It's kind of tricky, but we're going to get it one way or another. All right. All right, so this is card 10. This is 9, 8, 7. Give me just a moment. Let me pull this up. All right, that works much better. Much better. Much better. All right. Six, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bear with me while I try to get this adjusted. This is kind of all right. Just a moment. Okay. All right. So this is card one, change. I have the change card here for card one. So I'm going to say it does have the number two there. We're going to proceed to read what the number two has: unity, balance, and partnership. So I honestly feel as though, just right off hand, that this reading is in regards to some significant in regards to change. Now, is this change in terms of your relationship? Because we all will have to change something. I mean, it's just life. What is this change? Does this change involve going through an epiphany or what have you in life? What exactly is this change? This is what I have as card two, which is what crosses over. I have the Hierophant card, um, which has the number five there. Stress, conflict, and instability. As you can see, you have this what looks like a clergyman or what have you up there. So I'm going to say that this change is somehow associated with your belief, if that makes any sense. The Hierophant refers to spiritual wisdom, leadership, tradition, and institution. So I honestly feel as though this change that comes here with this card here is in regarding that. It's in regards to um, your beliefs. What beliefs that are, we're going to look further and I'll let you know. I have what's over this situation. This is what we have over this situation, which has the number six there, the lovers. The lovers. That's what I have over this situation, lovers. So something lets me know it's something significant in regarding love. The number six has harmony, community, and cooperation. That's what I show. Lovers cards relates to love, relationship choices, harmony, and cooperation. So I honestly feel as though you may be in a situation where someone wants you to cooperate more, show a little bit more initiative and um, how you feel. Now, who would feel that way? Because um, I don't have anything personally invested in my neighbors, so of course we would know to be neighborly like. Look out for people within means or boundaries, you know. So this reading is it's a little bit deeper. This is someone in terms of community effort, like community, showing um, more relevance to community, and you would know what community means. You would know what that means. The next card that I have is the reason. I have debauch. I have the debauch card here. Debauch, debauch. If you're able to view, I'm going to try to put these together. Debauch. Let's look this word up. I'm telling you, I'm having to look this word up every time. It doesn't fit. It doesn't sit. Debauch. What is debauch? The reason it mentions debauch, or what it has indicated here, indulgent in or characterized by a sensual pleasures to a degree perceived to be more morally harmful, is what it has here. Similar, dissolute, dissipated, degenerate, corrupt, depraved is what it has indicated here as the reason. Now, who would feel that you are depraved or corrupt or not right? See, as I read this here, I get the sensibility of like a map, even though that may not be a map. I get the sensibility of a map, and it has the number 7 there. Insight, spirituality, and corrupt contemplation. It's what we have indicated here. So, can this honestly be one of those political readings? I don't like to speak politics too tough, about people' personal love life too tough, race, sets, and things like that. I really don't, because those are very touchy subjects that are used to orchestrate, because I keep saying facilitate, orchestrate a spiritual transition. Those are very sensitive subjects. Um, but I get debauch here, which in turn is, not something not right. To the left, I have prudence. It has the number 8 there, action, success, and recognition. So I think right now I'm going to say that this reading is political. That's what I'm going to say. Now you fill in the blanks. I'm just going to lay it as it may. It's political, and I feel, um, and I think it has a lot to do with opening up one's eyes to see the writing on the wall, to see what is transpiring and what's about to occur with this up and coming election. Okay. I have prudence there. So what is prudence? We know what prudence is, to be um meticulous, you know, pay attention to detail, if that makes any sense to anybody. Prudence. Let's pull up that word prudence. It's the ability to use reason to govern and discipline oneself and to be wise or judicious in practical affairs. So you want to be detail oriented. You want to be focused. Okay, that's what it indicates here in this reading. We need to be focused right now. We need to see things for what it is. We need to see it. I have luxury here, the luxury card. Um, it has the number 4 there. Comfort, stability, and determination. I'm going to say in this situation is to show you um, when you're not focused, when you focus on things that don't matter, how energy spaces can come in and take over. So, in other words, we need to get up and get out of our head and get involved and see real matters that are relevant to us. It's what I feel as though a source is wanting conveyed in regarding this freedom. Matters, things that matters to us. Okay, I almost forgot that I was doing a 10 card. Okay, so well, what do we have for the attitude? Well, the attitude we have futility, which is usually uselessness. So, in other words, focusing on things that are relevant and that are important. Okay? Things that are relevant and are important. As you can see, we have this sword coming down, and then we got these energies coming up as well. So I think the futility is coming from somebody who is in authority, someone you have an association with or love to, who's wanting it to be conveyed. You need to pay attention to the lackadaisicness that are coming from those that coming around. Okay. Number 7, insight, spirituality, and contemplation. So these things will become apparent to you, and your surroundings will become apparent to you, and why a lot of energies navigate to a space. So for those who have no clue, I think this reading is to you. So it's political, but it's more or less to get you to see things as to why they implemented certain policies and procedures as they did, because of the real life things that are occurring in the community globally, if that makes any sense. Okay. Now, the next card I have is the what's surrounding or the morale. I have Ace of Swords. It has the number 1 there: beginnings, opportunity, and individuality. I honestly feel as though individuality relates to concern about oneself. If that makes sense to you, everybody's trying to forefront his or her own agenda, his or her own plight, his or her own needs and concerns. So that's what I show in terms of this right here, this card. Now, again, swords cards relates to the mind and intellect, action, power, knowledge, and change. Again, we started off with change. Change. So some things are happening to you to get a change. And when you are bothered with confusion, you will lose sight as to what the mission is, what they're trying to do. Because we get so sidetracked with things that don't matter that the writing is sitting right here on the wall and they won't be able to grasp that. So I think that's what the whole sensibility that is going on right now. So we did card 7, we did card 8, which was this one. Now let's proceed to card 9. So card 9 is hopes, fears, and dreams card. Oftentimes what we hope for and what we dream of, we oftentimes fear, if that makes any sense. I think the Empress card, which has the number 3 there, roots, expansion, and expression, It's giving you a synopsis as to desire and why things are manifesting and why there's a change away, because some things have to become apparent to you when there's a fight to the fittest. You may have a increase of spiritual transitions, um, job losses, um, health challenges, battles towards the mind, because there is a spiritual manifestation that's about to occur. It's the fight to the fittest. It's the fight to the fittest. Um, So the Empress card, as we have indicated here, has feminine power, creativity, fertility, expression, and pleasure. So I think when I do the Empress, it has a lot to do with communication and getting some things out. If you want my honest opinion, to proceed to get some energies out or away. That's what I show here, to move some energies away. And I have the three there. So we're having a group. It has expansion, expression. So there's a grouping we're trying to move, is what it is indicating to me. And I'm going to try not to let this podcast episode be too long. So do bear with me with that. Like trying to get a group out or away. The next card I have here is oppression. As you can see, this person is what? In jail with handcuffs on them, and it has the number 10 there. Renewal, fulfillment, end of cycles. So you may see some energies or people locked into jail, but the jail is to give you a synopsis on a bigger scale as to what is occurring globally, regionally, globally. There's a need to um, get some energies away. In other words, um, when revelation comes to you and the powers that may be that are not favorably for you, see that you can see through it all, they will try to get you away and move you from a space. And when you are confused, you won't see it that way. It's the point. It's the fight to the fittest. Competitiveness has nothing to do with your feelings. All right, so the next card, I do show that there's going to be a significance in the lovers, because um, I pulled the lovers card, which is over the situation. So, what do we know about lovers? All right, so this is something that is consuming. It says love, relationships, choices, harmony, and cooperation. So you're gonna see that when a person sees that a person does not like them and they have power, and you bring that energy around, they're gonna begin to say, okay, what's going on with you? You're trying to put me away. All right, we have one, two, and three. So what does the love cards mentions? Well, we're going to see. Uh, all righty. So if you're able to view these cards, the first card I have is heartbroken. The heart is going to be revealed. That's what I'm showing you. These things happen to show how one feels about himself, number one, herself, number two, community, and family. And that's what it is. The heart is being tested. It's the point. So at this time, you don't want to play games. You don't want to play on nobody's intellect. You don't want to play games, and we don't want to be facetious. Jokes and all of that other stuff. We don't want to do those things. There's nothing wrong with laughing, having a laugh here and there, but this is the time out is for that as well. Because I think uh, exposure of the heart is happening right now. That's what I feel. Like we're calling it politics. We're calling it, um, going to vote. But ultimately, the test is of you. How you think and feel about your community. How you think and feel about your mother, your father, your friends, and family, and things of that sort. So that's ultimately what the test is, as well as culturally. Paradise. Happiness, expansion, joy, playfulness, oneness, enjoying each other. So again, it's nothing wrong with enjoying each other's. It's nothing wrong with enjoying life and going through life, but we want to be realistic as to what is occurring, because sometimes people have to be told that certain people are not their like-mindedness, whether they look good or not. That's besides the point. So I think that's what the revelation or this reading is focused on right now. Talking, there's a lot of talks right now. Um, there's a lot of talks that are going on right now. That means a lot of energies are coming in to expose how one truly feels. And when they see that you are not of any relevance or important, they will help to set you up. Plain and simple. Let's move this card over. So let's get a little bit about history, past history. Let's get a little bit about past history. All righty, one, two, and three. So right now you have people who try to get you sidetracked and have you to take on their issues. Your community, number one, comes first. No matter what you drive or where you live or where you stay at. Some people have to be told that and shown that because they don't believe it. So they will begin to question you by way of your love life. If you're able to view that by way of your love life, that there will give a clue in itself. Who you love with, who you mate with, who you lay with, per se. Although you can feel as though personal has nothing to do with politics, but what I'm going to tell you is they're calling it politics, but ultimately the test is of the heart. The heart is being tested right now as to how you feel and don't feel about issues that are relevant. Baby is going to tell about how you treat not only yourself but your family. I know. I don't want to get into politics because those are very sensitive subjects, and you have to begin to ask yourself, why are these subjects very sensitive? Because this is life and living. We are a history in the making. It's the fight to the fittest. It's the point. The next card I have is trust and faith again. To see if they can trust you, if you will fight. You see how these angels kind of look like they're in a fighting stance. Trust and faith. What you believe and what you have faith in, if they can trust you and if they can count on you, is basically what that means. If they feel as if, and what do I mean by that? Well, you know what they is. If people or energy feels as though you don't take care of the ground roots, What purpose do you serve anywhere else? I'm just going to put it out there. And oftentimes you'll get sidetracked when you start to think, pay attention to things that's related to the pinnacles, which is that star with the circle around it. When you start to sell out and focus so much and put so much emphasis on these chords that have the pinnacles on there, uh huh, right. Again, this podcast and YouTube is for entertainment purposes. It is for entertainment purposes. So I'm going to pull out my Celtic cards, which I mentioned are my thoughts, faith, and belief cards. Okay, thoughts, faith, and belief. I think it's something significant in terms of your faith, because I had the trust and faith card to come up. What you believe. Alrighty. So So I have the King of Pentacles. I honestly feel as though the King, in this sensibility, the message is to out of the Lovers cards, the message is to the men. I feel. Hear me and hear me out. Hear me and hear me out. I think the message is to the men. You see how you got the Lovers card there? This message is to the men. I feel. I have King of Pentacles. Again, I just mentioned it before I even, before I even proceeded. The Pentacles cards relates to material aspects of life, career, finances, business, and possession. So right now they're wondering what produced this fruit. Hi, as I sit here, this is God, because I'm not so consumed in people's personal dealings. I'm just the messenger. That's what the medium is. I got my own shit that I need to get straightened out and dealt with myself. King cards are established and control and see things through to the end. These cards can represent a mature male. So I do believe that this is coming from those who are wise to those who are not, or those who are doing what they're supposed to do versus the ones who are not and don't want to. So it's more than you would know. The next card I have here is Three of Wands. Three of Wands. Groups expansion and expression. I think the significance is this expression. Wands relates to willpower, life force, passion, creativity, ego, and personality. So I think phoniness is being exposed right now. Is what it's showing me. A lot of phoniness and fakeness and illusion is being exposed right now. And I'm just being honest about it. I'm not going to quit. And it has something, because I'll be quick to tell you that this is fake. This is not my hair, and these contacts are not mine. But that's besides the point. It's character, is what we're speaking about. We're not speaking about what you look like vanity wise, because that's besides the point. The next one I have is the Hangman card here. Okay. So it just bumped me off. And let me see if I'm still recording on my and I am. The Hangman card mentions letting go, sacrifice, pause, new perspectives. So I honestly feel as though this energy is letting me know that this is what is about to transpire. There are going to be some people, some energy spaces that is going to go to the light. I hate to be the burden of bad news. I do, because I had to go through the pain. Did you understand what I told you? The harshness to relate the message. So a lot of these women don't realize what a medium means when, if the message hasn't become apparent to whoever you got out here in your corner or in your space that are playing. Well, guess what? That's what a medium is. He doesn't get it. So I'm gonna get you in suit so you can tell him. Catch my drift? So you can tell him. I'm going to update my at the close of this. Well, it's not going to be at the close. It's going to maybe later on today, if not today, tomorrow, about spiritual transitions. Is what I'm going to speak about. If not today, maybe on tomorrow. Okay. Again, this podcast and YouTube is for entertainment purposes. It's for entertainment purposes. It's my opinions ultimately. All right. So that being said, we're going to proceed with what is family history? What some things that may have transpired in your family history? Because as we know, history oftentimes as the saying go, repeats itself. So what does source or spirit wants to be conveyed in terms of the cycle of life and history? I'm gonna go ahead and pull out two today, because I do believe there is a seriousness in this reading. It's political. We're calling it politics, but ultimately it's the test of your thoughts, faith, and belief, purpose. Like I said, I'm a medium. So these things I had to pretty much give you the gist as to what I experienced contrary to others. I have two cards here. It looks like the Knave of Sword and then this card here. So we're going to proceed. I'm going to start with this one since that's a major arcana card. We're going to go down to the major. So the major arcana cards they're the important ones, the ones that's of stature, and then the suited cards are going to be your minor arcana, which are typically the pentacles, wands, cups, and swords. Those fall up under the minor arcana. The major suited cards are the major arcana. All right, so we're going to go down to card 8. Card 8. We have two cards, I think, that are relevant to this reading. So we're going to go down to card 8. Justice. Justice. And I'm going to actually go ahead. I'm going to read the whole card, and then we're going to proceed with this one. I don't know if this is Knave of Sword, but somehow I'm prompted to pull two cards today, which is something I don't do too often with the Egyptian tarot card. And we're going to go ahead and bring this to a close, hopefully within the next 15 minutes. So it says the scales and the sword, equilibrium, letter, Haletha, H, number 8. That's number 8. H equals 8 and expresses absolute justice in the divine world. In the intellectual world, it is attraction and repulsion. In the physical world, it is relative, fallible justice that emanates from men. The Arcana 8 is portrayed by a woman seated on a throne whose brow is encircled by a crown decorated with sword points. In her right hand, she is holding a sword turned upwards, and in her left, some scales. She is Themis, the ancient symbol of justice who weighs actions and, as a counterweight, opposes the sword of expiation to evil. Justice that emanates from God is the balanced reaction that reveals order, that is the equilibrium between right and duty. The sword here is a sign of protection for the good and a threat for the evil. The eyes of justice are banished to point out how she weighs and strikes without taking the conventional differences that men establish among themselves into consideration. Remember, O Son of God, that to reproduce victory and dominate obstacles already overcome is just a part of man's task. To achieve it completely is necessary to establish equilibrium between the forces that are brought into play. Every action produces a reaction, and will must foresee the clash between opposing forces. So again, as I mentioned about media spirits and things of that sort, you will oftentimes find that certain energies will gravitate to you to get you out of your element, get you out of your character or who you are as a person, and then a spiritual transition may ensue. Um, so it says, in order to temper and annul them, every future act is balanced between good and evil. Every intelligence that does not know how to balance itself resembles an aborted son. Saying that to say, um, the fight is to the fittest. So what you're coming to know is that politics is God, even though we may try to separate church and from man. But I have come to my epiphany that it's one and the same. There are differences, but there's one and the same. God will put the spirit in them and it will circumvent. We are it. This is it. As it mentions, this is it. And you will begin to learn the term as such. And once that becomes apparent to you, you will see why people try to bring in confusion, divide, and distort the language and what the intent is behind it all. So the positive I have here, it mentions law, equilibrium, equity, justice, harmony, fatality, subjection to consequential logic, like, you've been so sidetracked to, in other words, had you encased in a reality, and then once you when true understanding came to you, you see why these things manifested the way it did. Oh boy, this is not what I thought it to be. Exactly. Respect for natural hierarchy and order, rule of life. Now, the negative mentions prejudices. So you may see some of these energies coming towards you because it has been programmed, and God will show you that it's to fight to the fittest. It's to fight to the fittest. If I am have been afforded a certain way of being, I'm not going to let you push me off to the wayside. Catch my drill? You're going to begin to see, as I said to my son, these made up positions and what they come from. Okay? Factions, incorrectness, abuse of power, fraud, injustice, false accusation, loss of a process, problems of all sorts deriving from one's own behavior, arrest. So, when a person feels some type of way about something that they have done in their past, oftentimes they will come in try to make their problems your problems, if that makes sense to you. So we're going to proceed down to the source. So again, the source relates to mind, the mind and intellect, action, knowledge, power, and change. Again, so you have to not let the enemy come in and deceive you and fool you. You have to be aware as to what this energy is coming from, because oftentimes we can be empathetically, when we are in a state of confusion, picking up on the thoughts and the feelings of others. If that makes any sense. And that's not to say that we don't have control of our own actions. No, that's not what I'm saying. Okay. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to proceed to this card here and read what is being conveyed regarding this reading. As I mentioned, I do feel as though it's politically related, but what does that mean? Well, pretty much to give you a synopsis, as it's actually the Knight of Swords, to give you a synopsis of what is being put out, what is being conveyed in terms of what is about to transpire right now in history, or possibly. So God will give you precognition on things if you accept it, and if you give it power, then it will manifest. Is the point. Now we have Knight of Swords, the messenger of ruin. So it says a man mounted on a black horse that arrives at a gallop. That's what it mentions. Positive, mercenary, paid help, youthful energy, courage, fiery temperament, anger. So don't take it personal when you begin to see it manifest right before your eyes, as I mentioned, because the heart is being unleashed and unveiled. Negative, I have imprudence. Now, what is imprudence? Now, I did pull up prudence earlier. So, what is imprudence? This is the energy space I feel is um, gravitating in. Is what it shows me. It says the quality of being unwise or lacking wisdom or care, especially when making practical or economic decisions due to a failure to consider the possible consequences of one's actions. That's what it mentions. Okay. So you will see this coming towards you. Okay. Impulsive words and actions. So this is the spirit speaking through the individuals as such. You got to be very crafty and conscientious, because it's looking to facilitate a demise of killing. Incapacity. Struggle against a ruthless rival. So if once someone feels outnumbered or feels some type of way, this is how they will react, and God will put them in suit and part, and you will see it for what it is. Okay, so I think that's what, based on history, is what's coming in regards to this reading. So what is this? What is the purpose? Let's pull out the soul purpose card regarding what's going on in regarding politics, and how there's going to be a shift, transformation that is occurring in the country. If that makes sense to anybody. Alrighty. And you're going to find that the war is within and in your mind, and how people use their own personal feelings to forefront an agenda. All right. Steady. Um, that's what it has here. I had to add my camera in. It had got bumped off. Steady. I think right now people need to get involved, is what I think this message is being conveyed right now, in terms of learning a lot more about politics and what politics entail. Um, Read and research and education help you gain confidence and clarity about your career. So, not just about your career, but about what is transpiring politically right now is what I feel. This is what I feel as though is wanted to be conveyed. Let's get the healing oracle. Let's get the healing oracle. The healing oracle cards pretty much give you a sensibility about the energy space. Because when you're bottled with confusion, oftentimes you can be distracted. So you can be. Oh, positive thinking. So right now, I think what we need to do is we need to think positively. I'm gonna turn that around. Positively, because I honestly feel as though precognition and threats, quote unquote, is God giving you a synopsis as to what can manifest if you give it power. Everybody can get angry. Everybody can say they want. Everybody can, you know, exude its authority, but that does not mean that it's going to manifest. You have the power to make it happen or not. So it says, my life is full of small patches of light. I direct my thoughts to that which brings me well being. I place what is waiting for me into the hands of the universe. Little by little, the light awakens in my being and I find serenity. So I think that is very relevant right now, is what I feel. Now let's proceed with uh the angel cards. What does the angel cards mentions in regarding this reading? Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out. Hello from heaven. Hello from heaven is what it mentions here. If you could view that card, hello from heaven. So I think this is God giving you a synopsis about how he works. Not this. Do I feel as though there's a existence apart from this one? I do. Um, the artist's depiction is to give you a synopsis about right here, right now, is what I feel. Now it mentions Archangel Azrael. Your loved ones in heaven are doing fine. Let go of worries and feel their love and blessings. So when you begin to study some of the milestones or study some of the history of what transpired in your family, it will give you a synopsis as to when those energies are looking to bring that back. As I mentioned, history repeats itself. So those negative energies are looking to combat, and certain entities spiritual entities was instituted to make that apparent to you. Record keeping. Yeah, they did these, and these type of energies facilitate these things at these times and energies, and these energies are coming back to do the same thing. And when you're confused and don't see and know history, know things that not only happen in your family but in culturally, you'll fall by the wayside. Simple as that. All right, so we have. Am I afraid to be seen? I pulled that card. I pulled that card. I pulled this card the other day. You're gonna find that a lot of confusion come by way of harassment because of afraid to acknowledge some things that transpired in the past. That is in your mind. If you give that power, then it will manifest itself. It's the point. If you give that energy power, then it will circumvent and manifest itself within your space. It's all based on the mind. And out of fear, you'll begin to see how a lot of energies came to existence in this space out of fear. The power of the mind is in the mind. The world doesn't want you to hold back any longer. Time to shine your unique light on the world. You were made from love, and from love you are whole. There is no more hiding. There is no more shame. There is only truth. Live naked and free. Today's soul's action. What parts of me do I hide so I can be socially accepted and fit in? Am I being authentic? Do I allow myself to be all of me? What do I need to feel so I can be safe and to be seen? Journal your answers. So I think this is what is want to be conveyed right now. So I am going to go ahead. I'm going to conclude this episode of Spiritual Sense doing the uh, 10 card Celtic Cross, which I feel is a political reading. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you're more than welcome to comment below. Until then, have a safe and wonderful day.